Hello and welcome back, everyone. We are here in Barcelona, live from OFFF Festival, and I have Will and Sarah here with me. Welcome, Will and Sarah. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, good.
Great. So excited about today.
This should be interesting.
Yeah.
What brings you to OFFF?
You guys brought me here,
Yeah?
which is great.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, I love it.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. What about you?
Yeah, what about you?
Well, they also made me, but I'm here because I really like to stay.
Yes, I should say that
I
too.
came by force, but I stayed because I liked it. No, that's just like
That's it. No, it's really fun. It's great for people who are creative, great for checking out other people's processes and work, you know.
What are your tasks here?
The tasks, I guess I'm creating a cool video about OFFF. I took over the Adobe UK Instagram.
You
which,
should definitely check that out.
yeah, they just made it. Special,
Yeah.
so I was like the first story poster.
What's the handle? Adobe
So it's
underscore?
Adobe_UK, yeah.
So follow that on Instagram.
Yeah, definitely.
Cool.
Some funny stories with Will.
Oh yeah, some strange,
Worth
but
checking
funny.
out, definitely.
Follow Adobe UK.
A really
And
special
me.
kind of you.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. Cool.
How about you?
So I'm basically here to give you my perspective of you. So since I might have a creative eye, I could pick up the very best of OFFF and just show it to all of you guys. So that's why I'm here.
Great, thank you very much. So if you guys out there, if you have any questions, pop them in the chat and I'll read them out for you. This is your chance to ask Will and Sarah whatever you want.
Yeah.
And let's start to talk a little bit about your work.
Sure.
So we have, what's the best to pop up? The Instagram account?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Pop up my Instagram. So my work is sort of separated into two areas. So Instagram is mainly hand lettering and things on the iPad. But I am technically a logo type designer. So I design such as can they see this? Yeah?
Yeah, sure.
This thing here is a logo type that I made for something that I'm working on. So I incorporate hand lettering into making it simple, into logo design. But most of this here is stuff for, that I've played around with. Some of it's client work and the rest of it's logo and on YouTube. So kind of a mismatch, you know.
Awesome. When did you start with that? Or what brought you to it? What did you study?
Oh, well, I didn't study design. So my story kind of goes, I sort of didn't do well at school. And I really liked being creative, but I didn't think I could draw. So I spent 4 or 5 years just learning design from the internet and just
Wow.
reading books.
That's cool.
That's so impressive.
Yeah, and that's how it came to be. And I would create videos online, which is what sort of spiked up, So that's me.
Looks amazing.
Yeah.
Thanks, Will. Let's swap to yours.
Yeah.
You are an
So-
illustrator?
Yeah, I'm basically an illustrator. It's kind of self-taught because I used to study really classic design, and after I did my communication designs and information design studies, I just decided that I really want to go for bright colors and just
Cool.
draw whatever I want. It's just what comes to my eye and I will draw it. So over the time I just I created a color space, I'd say. So hold on, is it working? Okay.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
There we
So
go.
basically, that's all the colors I use in my illustrations, and so far they work really good. And I like drawing mainly people, but animals and burgers apparently. So that's my
That's
passion.
cool. I like that.
That's great. Nice intro, guys. So we have already the chat going wild. Steven is saying Will is great. I'm curious to see what will happen. Yeah, so are we.
You get arrested,
Munir
you
is
never
saying,
know.
hello Will, I'm a big fan of your YouTube channel.
Thank you.
So well done. So we have a task for you, Will. You have Project Gemini on your iPad here.
That's right. So, shall I explain what this kind of is?
It would be nice to explain. And I have this idea that you draw your name.
Yes, I'm going to draw my name. I might write something else as well as my name. It's,
No, Will is great.
Just because I don't want just my name, the ego. But so Project Gemini is an app that I've only just been able to look at. It's kind of in its user testing phase, but it's a new iPad app where you can draw vector and bitmap drawings inside of it, and you can do incredibly crazy stuff within it. So I hounded the Adobe team so I could get an iPad with it on, so I could show you my drawing today. How was that for an intro to the app?
Amazing.
And I'm going to write my
We
name.
also have to go pro here, or your iPad is connected to our
is it.
stream, so
Yeah.
we can see how you get started.
Sure. Do you want me to go for it right now?
Yeah, so
So
you have
what-
drawn something already?
Yeah, so I always start off, I did this beforehand, this is what I made earlier, but I always start off with compositional guides, and this just consists of lines. So I had we were talking before, and we were thinking, maybe put my name in the design. So I thought, well, instead of just having my name, we could say something about it, like whatever we come up with, maybe in the
do you
chat.
distance, when I tell you to draw your name, do you distance yourself from it and just see it as a letter piece of art? Or do you actually think about yourself and put yourself in it because it's your name?
I think, yeah, I guess so. It's hard because whenever I write my name, it's like my signature, which is also my logo. So it's kind of like this weird, like business scripty thing like this. That's like my name and logo and signature. So I'm going to try and do something a bit different. Maybe sum up my time here at OFF within within the stream. So that's what I'm going to try and do.
I'm curious to see, yeah.
Yeah. Shall I get started?
Yeah, get started and
Cool.
show us how you get started. So you first draw initials? Or what
Yeah,
is
well, I'm going to work out what I want to write first. So being in Gemini, you can just like simply, layers tabs are over here on the right. I'm just going to like,
Are the artboard sizes customizable?
yes.
Yeah.
So this is just a standard, I think an iPad artboard in portrait. So I'm drawing in portrait, I prefer that all the time. Like poster size. And so Will Paterson, so I could write this. So Will could be here, Paterson could be there. If I was going to do that though, this would have to be bigger. So Will Paterson at OFF. We'll do that. So Will Paterson at OFF. Why not? So I do stuff like this all the time.
So you have a separate layer for your notes?
Yeah, so I'll just put a layer on top so I can like get rid of it whenever I need to. So you can just do this, get rid of it. Same with the actual compositional layer down here. Hello, I'm just creating new layers. You can just get rid of it afterwards, but having this is kind of like using tracing paper when you're drawing, so but without the tracing paper, if that makes sense. So I'm just going to get started. I'm going to try and make this look as cool as possible. Like, let's see how we go. So
It's really interesting.
it's going to be very rough because I haven't got like loads of time. But I've got a new layer here.
How long does it usually take to create an artwork?
It depends on, like, I do a lot of one letters, like, or one word pieces of work, which doesn't take long, but it depends how fast I work, I guess. Like, sometimes I'll work really fast, especially like when I'm doing my own live streams, I'll work quite quickly. I'll have like an idea of what I want to do. But when I'm just sort of like here, it could be that I have to finish it at a certain point and not be happy with it, but it's all about creating it and just doing it. So I'm just experimenting here with my first concept.
We have some requests in the chat that you create logo types for the people here. Yeah, if you want that, we're not going to do that here, but you can contact Will, and I'm sure he will find a way
Yes.
to do that. But we take it as a compliment. Thank you very much for that. That's really cool. So we leave you to it, and we talk a little bit more
Great.
about your work. Do you have any older projects in there, like during
Yeah.
your university time, that you could show? And to see what your history was like and what your journey looked like?
So basically, on my Instagram account, you can just see my illustration history.
Yeah.
So from the very beginning when I
Oh,
started,
yes.
so it's like
Let's
not
do
really
that.
designed, but it's like really, really down. You have to scroll like 300.
Scroll the whole
pictures, yeah.
stream long. No, it's always interesting to see which path you have gone,
Yeah,
you know,
definitely.
and where you started and where you
Yeah.
are right now.
Yeah.
And what
so-
brought you to where you are right now. So that's really cool
Yeah.
to see.
So I think, yeah, we are at the bottom. So when I first started doing illustrations, it was probably because I was really interested in other illustrators. So I saw that low poly design, and I was like, okay, I can do that too. And I also saw it more as like exercising in the programs than on actually drawing it. So you can see it, for example, it's like, is it not working? What did I do? Okay, I will just like ask you for to click. So you can see it's basically a piece out of nature, which is like rebuilt in Illustrator, and like only using triangular forms. And yeah, so it's basically not the most creative part. It's more like tracing in a special way. So that's how I started, like all over. And it's like also a really technical start for illustration, I would say. So you might think that's the first step, going out of a really strict design like studying and go in the way of illustrations. So
Are these individual triangles or are they overlapping?
no, they're individual ones. So they always have
It
like
gives
one
this illusion.
point.
You're not really sure. It's cool.
Yeah, it's
Almost
it's
like a crystal.
Interesting, I'd say.
Yeah.
So now I wouldn't probably not draw like that anymore.
What would you
Also,
change if you would redraw that today?
probably go more in detail, because you can actually go really into detail, and it's like really rough, I'd say. But yeah, I think it was a good start. So maybe we can go on
That's
and
great.
just like.
Can you show us also a project from your early days or drawing that at the time you thought was really, really great,
Yeah,
but then figured out it was actually not?
I probably thought that like every single one of mine was like really great in the beginning.
But was there a particular one that was an eye-opener to you
Yeah, so basically
that made you to change your style?
we will just like that one. So at that point, I just started like drawing by hand and like on paper, and then I redid it in with Illustrator, like making it digital. So that was my first attempt to create something by myself, but working digitally. And I thought it was really great, right? So because
I think it is really great. Actually. It's really
so
cute.
if I'm looking at now, I'm just like, maybe the knowledge I have now, I would do so much, like work so different.
And
but
why? And what would you make different?
I think now I'm a lot more used to draw people, so I would be able to, create a better face or create better figures, and just like work a bit more out of like scribbling, but more like interpreting the human person as itself, which is I think what I'm doing right now.
So what you would change is the physique of the body and the
definitely,
face of the person or the character.
And probably also putting the person more into a surrounding and not just only adding it. So in this kind of illustration, it's like lots of individual illustrations just put together to create one thing, and I would change definitely.
And why is that? Did you get feedback as well from people about that made you change your style?
No. So
you just developed yourself in that direction?
Basically, I always get really good feedback. Everybody loved what I did. And so I was only challenging myself to do more stuff, because I was like, I really like collecting illustrators and illustrations. So, and they all make me to want to do different stuff and go in other directions and use more color or use that color or that kind of illustration way. So, yeah, I'm basically challenging myself to do something different.
That's great. So at what point in time started your style to change? Can you see that here as well?
Yeah, you can definitely see it. You just have to.
So this is basically white backgrounds, and then you changed it to have actually a background here, right?
And then I just started to create those, like, how can you say, like a stage, I think, for them. And
no way.
No way. And also I started to draw backgrounds and more plants, and just to give it a bit more personality, I think. So I just wanted to start to create my own way of illustrating, because the low poly style, so many people are doing it, and you basically can't separate it who's like doing what or what. And I started to create. I can also
see you printed as canvases.
Yeah. Actually those are mock-ups. So I was just like, okay, I want to see how it would look like in real life. So I did some mock-ups, and then I also started like printing it, because many people requested prints. So I was like, hey, why not doing that? So it just all started as a
Are these all
hobby.
Prints, or do you also draw on paper?
No, they're all prints. So I just start drawing on paper, and then I will digitalize it. But I'm
At what stage are you digitalizing it?
really early, because I'm a horrible draw in Painter. So like it looks like a child is drawing. I swear, it's like really bad. But I'm really good with digital drawing, so I will just like make really short sketches and then digitalize it. So
Could you also do the sketches digital already?
I tried it at once, but for me, most of the time, it's a lot more easier to draw on the paper.
What's the difference nowadays? When I see
learning.
Will, I'm
Yeah.
wondering what's the difference.
I know.
It
I'm
looks
seeing
like
like
he's
so
drawing
many
on
people.
paper.
Yeah, I probably just should start it. Maybe I'm a
I
bit
know, can we
afraid of
show
something.
that on the GoPro? It looks like he's drawing on paper.
Yeah.
Except for the zoom in and zoom out. But
Well, this is the main thing. So, like, the coolest part about it, which could also be like the thing that can be different, is the fact that you can zoom in.
Oh, yeah.
So the scale of your pen is changing technically. You know?
Yeah.
So like, you can scale in your work and really get into the nitty gritty of everything that you're doing. Like with this, it acts just like a pencil. You've got more control with
That's
it in
great,
some areas,
yeah.
but like it depends. I started off with doing it on paper as well, but
Yeah.
like, it feels very similar.
do you still
But
start on
different.
paper?
I'll do
anymore.
stuff on paper, but like the iPad's just there. It's so much easier. There's no tracing paper. So for instance, like a logo design or something else like this, for instance, if I was going to really make it properly good, I would have to use loads of tracing paper. But so instead of that, on the iPad, you used to use loads of layers to act like a piece of tracing paper that
Yeah.
you keep going over. So that's it. And this has got vector as well, so you can like put very clean, non-pixelated shapes within the design work. So, yeah.
Great. Thank you,
Probably
Will.
I should simply try it, you know?
Yeah, that's it.
What do you usually draw with? Do you also have an iPad?
No,
Or-
I'm actually drawing on the trackpad. So
Yeah.
I have my MacBook
Really?
and I'm drawing on the
on
trackpad.
this?
Yeah.
You did all of this
Yeah,
on
I'm
this
just like
trackpad?
working, yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Would you
So
have to use a
precise.
trackpad?
Yeah.
Like,
Like
no,
not,
like-
not
believe it.
even like my mouse or something, so it's only trackpad.
Really?
What? So like, do
How
you
is that
pen it
possible?
out?
Huh?
Do you use the pen tool?
No.
What?
Like my finger.
Yeah, that's
It's
what
just
I'm
like-
just thinking.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
I'm
You
just
did
like so
all of that?
used to it, yeah.
That's
You'd
so
freak when you
impressive.
go on one of these. Like, that's awesome. I never
So
knew.
many more options probably.
Even I use my tablet. I never use a
Yeah.
trackpad or a mouse. No. Just
I just like started it with scribbling, and since I'm like most of the time a designer, it's like really easy to use a trackpad for like making editorial designs or something. So, and it just like started that I draw there, so why not also using the trackpad?
That's so impressive. But maybe also motivation for you guys out there. If you don't have an iPad or a vacuum tablet, try the
Yeah.
trackpad. You see
If you
what
want
is
to do
possible.
it, you can do it.
That's really, really great to see. I love that style, but I would have never thought that you are drawing that on a trackpad.
Yeah, sometimes it's hard. So you know, if you want to do like really smooth lines,
Yeah.
you really have to. You have to do it, and
How
it
do you do
could
that
be
with
like,
the small finger?
Yeah, it's just like then you will do it like that. Yeah,
Wow.
and then sometimes it's like it just doesn't happen, you know, and you will press delete and delete and delete again, and you're just like fighting with that simple like smooth line. But in the end, most of the time, it comes great.
I
It's
think
more like accidental
Yeah,
greatness.
exactly. It's whatever you use. Like if you're using that, it's limiting you, which also helps you create
Yeah.
something. You know,
Yeah.
limitations help when you need it to create something.
Yeah.
You know?
Also, there are great tools with Adobe Illustrator that you know, they just help you if you want to paint something really smooth. Then there are functions that will help you. So it would probably look a lot worse if they weren't there. So yeah, it's easy to work with it.
That would have been my next question. So, what do you usually draw with? Illustrator or
Yeah.
also Photoshop?
So most of the time I start with Photoshop and I just like create collages of what I want to do.
Okay.
So
Out of pictures?
yeah, I will
Okay.
just like do really rough collages out of pictures just to have my reference, what I want to draw, and just put it aside and then like go crazy about it. So, but the actual drawing process is always in Illustrator because I really like to work with vectors because you can, you know, make it bigger and smaller and print it like skyscraper big. So I love it.
That's great. We have a question in the chat here from Kevin. What is the current illustration trend?
Ah.
Draw on trackpad.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Back to the roots.
Trackpad only.
So, well, I would say at least like in Berlin, I'm from Berlin, so I see a lot of like flat designs, like really colorful designs. I also work like with those really bright colors, like in the field of bluish and pinkish, and so it should like sparkle. And I think it, like drawing people or humans or really strong characters is also like a great thing to do right now. So maybe start with that.
Great. So how did you choose your color palette here?
Actually, it was a process.
Yeah.
So in the beginning,
And
I was like,
became your favorite colors?
yeah.
Or, yeah.
So
Which
that
ones?
was basically the beginning. So you could
Purple?
see it was purplish and reddish and like a bit of mint. And I always like tried new stuff. So if I could find a new one that is like fitting really well, I would add it. So maybe if we scroll, you can see how the process is going. So there's like blue, red and greenish, and then the mint and green part fades. So I didn't use it that much anymore. So it was like more bluish and reddish. And at one point I added a lot of like light colors, like this rosé tone. And then I started giving the people red faces, because for me it was always like really hard to,
Whoa.
you know, I didn't like doing skin colors. So I was like experimenting with
Why
maybe
not?
making them blue or something, because I think giving people like a whole new color makes them like a lot more equal. So it's just like,
That's nice.
it's just like red. Nobody's red, you know. You couldn't say like, oh, that red person, it refers to anything. It's just like red or a blue face, and you're like not really an alien, but just like, yeah, reddish.
I like that idea, yeah.
Yeah. And sometimes people are telling me, why do you making them red? It's like so unrealistic. I'm like, not. I'm like,
Oh, you get this feedback from people?
Yeah.
They ask you why it's red?
yeah.
And what about when you tell them the reason?
Yeah, then
they
they
like
understand
it?
most
Yeah.
of the time they understand it. But they're like,
But
more,
unless they know the reason, they don't just... Because I would have just considered it as
Yeah.
a style.
Yeah,
I would not have questioned why. I just
Yeah.
ask you why, because you said I don't like skin colors. And
yeah.
then- that's really, really interesting. Have you also tried other colors?
I tried them, but for example, if you go in the bluish direction, people will look sick really quickly. So
Really?
yeah. For example, like yesterday, we did a group project, and we were all like, "Yeah, blue skin color," and they looked like zombies because. Yeah, I have no idea why. Maybe you shouldn't use shadows if you are going into blue skin color, but yeah, it just turned out to work out really well. And
Why do you think the red doesn't make it look sick? Because I would
Probably-
associate red with blood and
Yeah,
it's probably also
yeah, but
sick.
it's humans, so
Cheeks, isn't it? Like,
yeah.
Everyone's
so
got a bit of red. If you've got blue, you're dead. Like, you know, you're not very well if you've got a blue face.
yeah,
about
and you're
green?
cold and not alive.
Then
it's
I'm a
probably
plant.
even worse. Only if you're the Hulk, then it's great. But
Yeah.
yeah, so after some times, it just turned out for me to work. So now I'm working with that one.
Have you also tried out different colors for hair?
Yeah.
What has your experience been with that?
I think like some people ask me whether I'm always drawing myself because I'm like dark hair too. And I never realized that. So it was always, okay, that fits. So I'm going to make it darker looking. But
Have you tried white as a
I
contrast?
tried white, and actually it's really cool too. And so you can see there's like a bit more bluish, and then always, always, always dark.
That's cool.
Reddish, but always, always dark. And we have that one, which worked really well.
Trackpad queen.
Okay, yeah, but not with that one.
Not with Instagram.
So bad. Yeah, so in here I only worked with 2 colors and white, so that worked really nice too. So I could probably go out for different colored hair.
It's really interesting. Look how far Will
Yeah.
got.
I'm just cleaning up. I can see the problem is when I'm working live, I get really insecure about it because I'm like, that bit's
You
wrong,
shouldn't.
and it's
Look
like
how beautiful that
the
is.
curling's
So
off.
great.
But
It's like, you know, you draw to a point where I don't see it as letters anymore. I see it as art.
well, it's the like because
It's just so
I'm not very good at
detailed.
reading, so I guess I see letters in a different way. I like to not in a strange way, but I see letters as more shapes. So when you're doing lettering and typography, you start to understand the systems of the shapes that a letter should be, and you can sort of see the consistencies, you know.
That's
so,
really amazing. We actually have a question for you here in the chat. Amini is asking, how many years of experience do you have?
Is that to me?
Yep.
Oh, I'm 25 next week, and I've been working since I was like 17, 18. So how many years is that?
7.
7? Yeah, about 7 years.
Am I doing the maths?
Yeah, is it 7? I keep forgetting. I'd just say about 7 years. That's what I would say.
Great. Well, it looks really,
Really professional.
I mean, it definitely looks as if you're not doing that for the first time.
Yeah.
What do you think when you see that?
I'm so impressed by it, and I really want to learn it. So I told you before that I'm like researching a lot about other styles and other illustrators. I would say that's illustrating too, but like for me it's illustrating, right? So I will probably go home after this conference and just try to do some lettering, and I might
with the trackpad.
Yeah, why
that
not?
would be something.
Why not? I will show you how it turned
the
out. So then you
challenge.
can, yeah.
Do you think it would take you some time to change to the iPad and try Project Gemini?
So far, I heard it's like really easy to use.
Yeah.
And I'm actually really excited to try it. So
it's like paper with a battery. That's the way I see it.
And I can see that you're actually leaning your hand on it, like on paper, and it doesn't make a stamp or anything, right?
No, that's right. So because of the palm rejection on the iPad, you know, I see a lot of people like, you know, pecking at it, you know, when they first start. But then you can tell them, you know, you can relax and treat it as you would with paper. So your hand can literally just like, I don't know if you can see it, but like rest on the iPad and it won't pick it up, which is insane. That's probably the thing that sold it to me when I saw people, you were able to rest your palm on top. So it's not like, you know, you're having to nitpick around. Something else as well is in here, I've just remembered you guys have smoothing on here. And this smoothing allows you to sort of like create really smooth lines.
Oh, wow.
Kind of like on Illustrator.
I need that. I need that.
And I was doing it all wrong before.
But look
then.
at how your hand moves. It naturally moves into something
Oh,
beautiful.
like,
yeah.
So
Look
this
at
is like a
this.
drill for like
That's amazing.
a
It's
calligraphy
as
drill.
if I'm using Command D in Illustrator, but that's that wouldn't be my hand.
So what I used to do is when I first started out in lettering is you work with calligraphy. So if you wanted to start off in typography, it's a good idea to learn calligraphy because you understand how you make the strokes with the certain pens. So for like instance this, I can envision a brush actually creating these strokes, or if it was like a Gothic pen, like a flat nib pen, you can envision it. So when you learn these sort of drills, you learn where to put pencil pressure on. So like pencil pressure.
Wow.
And it gives you like free movement in the hand to, if I could do it correctly. But the idea is to keep it like consistent all the way through.
So impressive.
But
you know, when I did calligraphy at university, the ink stained my dress, and then we had kind of a war.
Oh, so the relationship was never quite the same.
No.
I can imagine. I've had that before where
Really?
I've been working, and I was just
Your
doing
whole
like,
hands were just all
but
in
then
ink.
I don't feel it because sometimes the ink can be warm. So like, you know, you don't feel it, and then you put your pen down on the paper and you just smudged all your work like on the paper.
That's a problem you don't have here, right?
That's right. If we did have a problem with that, I'd be surprised. So with this, I'm trying to work out. I'm only going to do one lane because I wanted to make sure it actually looks okay. I think I went a bit
That's great.
over the top. But we can do like a cool flourish with it. If I could choose another brush, actually. There's loads of different brushes.
We actually have Sarah here, so we got quite a lot of submissions from you guys out there for portfolio reviews, and we selected Sarah to get your advice on her portfolio. So I would like to welcome Sarah.
Here we are. Hi, Sarah.
Hi.
How's it
Hi,
going?
Sarah. How are you?
Hi, I'm good, and you?
Yeah, good. We have your portfolio up here. And my question would be, if we start with Sarah, what project catches your eye instantly?
But that's the overview, though. That's not
Yeah. The overview. Yeah.
So I probably
No,
would
that's
go
not my
for the red
overview.
one.
That's
Yeah?
sorry, that's not my portfolio.
Yeah, that's what we're going to review.
Okay, good. Yeah.
So I think the red one, like the fourth over there,
This one?
yeah, it immediately catches my eye. Probably because of the really great colors that were used.
Yeah.
So
No way. Let's have a look. Is it coming
yeah,
forward?
really curious about that one.
I can see it over there in here. Whoa.
It's a video,
right?
It's, it's just what I appreciated for other people.
Oh, so
That's what
this
I
is
would
an
take yours.
appreciation.
No, it's like that's what
So wait a minute, let's find it.
Sorry.
Okay, but it's great anyway.
Yeah,
So,
it's like I think you have to go to
Oh.
work. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I was about to
Now
freak
we've
out
got it.
because I thought you designed the American
wish I
Horror
would-
Story.
I wish
Yeah,
I
well,
was
he was
like-
already. I
I was
can't
like,
judge
is that
that.
you?
Okay,
So this is it, is it?
Yeah, that's
That's
just
it.
me. Like that's just
Okay,
me.
let's start from the beginning.
Oh, great.
That's it.
I would still go for the red one.
Yeah, that one
because it's
straight away,
hands, and
yeah.
you know you can see the 3D stuff. And yeah,
You draw red people, you
Yeah,
love
I
red
love it.
projects. That's great.
Whoa.
How
Wow.
far are you with?
Oh, with me,
Yeah.
I'm basically done. Like, I hope. I hope so.
Okay. You continue. Please.
okay, yeah. So can I ask you questions
Yeah,
about
sure,
it?
sure.
Yeah, that's great. What kind of a project is it? Is it like a mood, or was it like for a project?
It's a project for university.
Yeah.
And we've illustrated like the text from Walter Benjamin
Oh.
about reproduction and yeah, like reproduction and computer everything, industrial revolution and that. So yeah, that's one of my interpretation for the title. And that's just the title, and then there's another project with the whole booklet in it. So, and this is not 3D. That's actually just
Oh,
Photoshop and photograph.
I was going to ask that.
Oh, really?
It
Yeah.
looks insanely good.
You know
Yeah.
what would be nice if you would have a caption that says that. Because that would be so impressive if if you say that this was
Yeah.
a university project, these were the programs and the tools I've used.
Yeah.
That would just give that wow effect.
Yeah,
you know?
okay.
And people recognize what skills you
Yeah.
have.
Yeah, that's my mom's hand actually.
Really?
I told
you
her I
took- you
need
took
some
the
used
pictures?
hands, like some old hands. And yeah, I took the pictures. I'm a photographer and a designer, so I
Okay.
take the pictures and then yeah, it's actually everything is like done with photography and Adobe Photoshop. Yeah.
What's the project you're most proud of?
It's like the first one there you see it's my
This one?
newest one, and the second one as well. I like them both. Like it's really different.
Let's look at that. See, you have a description here, and that
Yeah.
helps already.
I finally got to that. Yeah, it's a corporate identity for a dentist in Germany, and she wanted to do something differently. So yeah, I gave that to her, and she's focused on patients who are afraid of going to to go to a dentist, or yeah. Or lots of people don't like to go to dentists, so this is this should help.
And then you came up with a flower garden.
Yeah, it's like no, it's just it changes every season. So it's
No
like
way.
this is a spring toothbrush, and we have also an Easter brush and a Christmas brush, and yeah,
Have
it's
people
like,
ask already where to buy this.
no,
happened
it's like yeah, but it's also some like summer brushes planned. So
The summer
yeah.
on all balconies, you will see
yeah,
plants
just I
growing
was
out
good.
of toothbrushes.
Yeah, it's like this is the Christmas brush.
Okay.
Yeah, and then we did like we did illustration. Like I just call it illustration. I don't know. It's like I don't know how to call it because it's photography and it's not really like a 3D thing. Like so, yeah.
So what did you take a picture of?
Of what? Of everything.
Here, what?
This
So where did you get these objects
wow.
from?
So I told my boyfriend to hold them, and that's it.
Why
I
do
took
you,
them
you
and
have to.
You mask them out?
yeah, I mask them out, and I sometimes I just do it by myself, and everything like I put some like I tape that, and when sometimes I'm too lazy and I ask my boyfriend or
Yeah.
someone else, and I just retouch the finger. It's sometimes easier than.
It looks so clean though.
Yeah, it's like a lot-
Yeah.
Yeah, you've done a really good job with it.
I would
like-
have thought this is like
Yeah.
a 3D rendering. or
No,
something.
I
It's-
wish
it's
I
a
could
real,
do.
It's
Yeah, it's a real object. Yeah.
Where do you buy such
Or
things?
just I'm going to like shops where you buy. I don't know the English word for it right now. Like a painting shop where you just get
Art
some.
shop?
Yeah, art shop. Thank you. Yeah.
And you can just like get stuff like that there.
Yeah,
That's
but it's like
insanely cool.
yeah. So you just need to. I painted them, and then also the glasses. I bought them in black, and I painted them the whole evening to get them. Actually, it's blue, but it painted it. I've swapped the colors on digitally. So yeah, it's all real.
And this? You took the dentist equipment home?
No,
or-
I bought it. It's just 14 euros on Amazon, and I had this idea, and I bought it on Express like really the same day, and I painted it. Just I
That's
couldn't.
cool.
It's like with real paint.
Wow. What's your feedback on that?
I'm impressed by that. Like,
Do you also use a trackpad, or you?
I use a graphic tablet.
I should do that too. Yeah, I really like the colors and
Yeah.
the color mixing you're using, and also I really like your way of thinking. You know, you don't have to always like work at the same way to go get like results like that. So
Where do you get your color combinations from? Like your schemes?
Yeah, so it's the color combination for her corporate identity. I used then I tried to stay in the corporate identity, so I used that, and that's we also worked on her corporate identity, so I just used that, so we stay
Right.
there. And she's going to put these images in her like this dental office or whatever.
Right.
Yeah,
place,
she's
yeah.
going to hang them up in her practice. So.
I just can't get over it. So these aren't 3D objects.
No, it's not. But they're all single, so I'm gonna animate them hopefully soon. I try to animate them. I started getting into it.
Do you know how to do 3D?
Not yet. I started a bit, but it's I would love to do the easy objects like these
Yeah.
round things 3D because it's too much effort to
These ones?
to photograph them. No, these are real. These are the things you put in your mouth at the dentist to hold it back. It's like
I remember that.
Yeah, I hate them. I always get goosebumps.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is actually there. I haven't done a lot of with the white ones. I haven't done lots of Photoshop. That's my hand, and that's just a picture.
So how are you thinking on animating it? Also in Photoshop?
No,
Or more
After
After
Effects.
Effects,
I
okay.
think. Yeah, I started After Effects with the other project. I've started. It's an album cover, and don't know when I create an image, I see it moving. So I wanted to start like show other people what is in my head.
Yeah.
Did you do a storyboard, like what the animation will look
No,
like?
I just with the other one it's just with bubbles, and I just wanted to see them. To
Random
show-
bubbles.
Yeah, like random bubbles. But you have it's also in my portfolio, so you can have a look there. It's like
So how would you animate this one? Is it
I just-
biting?
I love to have small movements, so people get like wow, and they have to look for a movement. That's what I was thinking of, just like small ones, which like help people to see my feeling of that. I
Right.
mean, it could bite, so.
Super cool.
But people shouldn't get afraid of the dentist, so I have to be careful.
Yeah. You've done a good job. I feel slightly better going to dentist now, especially that one.
Yeah, definitely.
Have you communicated with these people that are afraid?
No, my mom is afraid. No, but I don't like to go to dentist. I mean, I don't like to go to doctors at all, but the dentist especially, I'm not afraid, but I don't like it. So I thought, especially these white things, I really get goosebumps touching them. Like it was somehow getting over my fear. Yeah, and like.
So why do you think putting them on a picture helps? Because
don't know,
if you see them, you get
No,
fear again. or
It's
not?
like.
I mean, I'm not scared. That's why I can't
I'm not-
associate with it. But I'm
Yeah.
asking,
I just
what
like
has been
playing
your
with
user
it. Like,
research?
it's just like playing with it. Just like it's just a normal thing. It's just don't know the word for it, but it's just like it's nothing bad. I try to make this in the images like not this the pain to put the pain first, just like the fun maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Is there any other projects?
yeah.
Is there a project that you don't like, but you don't really know what to make better, where you could ask for help now?
Actually, I think them all, but.
Or a project that you want us to see?
Maybe the album cover. That's one of my new ones. This
one?
one, yeah. That's the where I actually animated for a little bit, 30 seconds. That's the album cover for a German electro band. It's all Photoshop.
So-
Yeah.
How did you get the bubble around the head?
It just leveled and some, I don't know, I used all the level options I can get, and then I just put it on top. Like,
Right, no way.
I just I learned how to help myself. So.
But these are real bubbles?
So I used to. Do you know these bubble balls? You can stretch and squeeze. I used one of these, but it never. If I would show you, you wouldn't recognize it. I don't know. I ended up like abstracting it. Don't know. It's just all the same, actually.
But the base is also a photo.
It's all it's a photo. They actually
Great.
were in my living room, so.
Oh wow!
Yeah, it's that's the band.
So you shot these portraits in
As
your
well,
living room?
Yeah. And
that's
that's my
the
little
video?
animation, 30 seconds of hard work. So, so it's just light movements.
And you did that in After Effects as well?
Yes, within 2 days I learned After Effects and
Wow.
tried to.
How long does a project like this usually take you?
Just the animating or the,
Or like the whole
project? It depends on the feedback from the band. I think it took about 3 months. But like the image took like, I don't know, 3-4 days. So I think all in all, like from this, we had some different ones, but this, I'm really happy with that. I tried to make some movements in the bubble. I don't know if you can see it. Like,
Where did you take the inspiration from? The client was obviously the band.
Yeah.
Did they give you any guidance, like what they wanted to have, or were you completely free?
First I was completely free. then they were like, just do whatever you want. And then I showed him some images, and then they were like, maybe this. And then they wanted to have it like, I thought they don't want to have it dark, so I made it colorful like my other things. And then we got like really back to their color. So that's. And I just heard the song, actually. It's a song, and I just heard it.
So the song inspired you?
Yeah, actually, that's actually interpretation of the song. It's about dreams
nice.
and forget about dreams, and then suddenly you realize that you're stuck in something, and then you have to.
So that's the
have to
lyrics.
decide.
So you
Yeah,
interpreted the lyrics.
Yeah,
or?
it's like an interpretation. Yeah, I mean, I interpreted it like widely, but it's more. I thought about space and the possibilities you have there. Like,
really cool.
Really
say.
cool. Yeah, I'm impressed.
Thank you.
It looks amazing.
Thank you.
I love the colours there. Like, everything looks so clean. I'm so used to like my work looking awful, like really rough. But seeing so many bright, clean colours with like soft gradients as well. Like it's got a lot of depth with the shadows as well. It's the sort of thing that I would like to try and do on here. Is it like with 2D though?
Yeah.
Get the nice colour combos and like the soft shadows and the gradients. So it looks really cool.
Thank you.
Amazing.
Very well done.
Yeah, you should continue doing what you're doing.
Thank you. Yeah, I've got some if you scroll down, you can see the whole project of if you want to, like the left one.
Oh, great.
It's the whole. I wrote something there, but
that's
I've
the
never
journey.
explained how. No, it's the whole booklet I've done, and it's even the hand is moving, like the finger. It's just small. I didn't know how to. There's like tipping. Like
Where did you do that? In Photoshop?
in
or-
Photoshop.
Wow.
It's just all in Photoshop. That's my eye, actually. It's like a
yours.
tough. Yeah, it's my eye.
That's your. Yeah, that's your eye. So I just had to look. Had to make sure.
Just to make sure.
And by the way, it happens all in my flat. It's nothing. It's my living room. Everything. It's like yeah.
So you turn it into a studio.
Yeah, usually, every time. Like sometimes it's, but it's all in my living room because usually I'm not going to studio, and then I'm just like,
Yeah.
and I ask people to come over to show their head or something, or their hand, so I just don't have to use my hand all the time.
Very nice project.
Yeah, if you close it, I can show you another one I've done in my flat as well. This one.
This one?
No, the up there. That's this one. Yeah,
This
that's.
looks so like a studio.
No, that's it's in my flat. It's the same place, the same like weeks earlier, I think. Yeah, it's like so.
We have a couple of connection issues here with the
yes.
internet, unfortunately, but I'm sure you guys out there can check it out. I hope this portfolio review helped you a little bit with feedback, but it looks already great. Thank you very much for being here
Thank
with
you.
us, and
Yeah. I love it.
letting us into your creative world. Thank you very much,
Thank you.
Sandra.
Thank you.
Have a good
Thank you,
day.
guys.
Thank you. See you
Bye.
soon.
Bye. See you.
Bye.
So let's close
Wow,
Sandra
great work.
and let's go back to this piece of art. Wow.
yeah.
That's right. So it looks a bit crazy right
Why?
now. I'm
Why
trying to-
crazy? It's so pretty.
you think it's pretty?
Yeah, I think
It's so pretty.
As someone who like works in this all the time, it's like I can spot all the imperfections, but I guess everyone can. In your own work, you know, when someone says it looks cool.
So what would you say are imperfections?
Oh, so like the P here, like it's like hitting the A. I would have fixed that. It just doesn't
How
look.
would you fix that if you had more time?
Yeah. If I had more time, I would like move the P slightly to the left. I might have like extended the A's bowl slightly, so the bowl is this part of the letter down here.
As you wouldn't put them like in Photoshop, like trace them with
No.
the lasso tool and put them on a separate layer and then just move? No?
No, I would just like straight from
That's
like,
what
straight
I would
from in
do.
here. I would like make a new layer. So what you could do is if I wasn't happy, but this is kind of like the finished thing. I did these weird drop lines. I had to make this sort of brush smooth enough to get the drop lines as good as possible. But like what you could do is if you're not happy, you can just like lower the opacity. And I've forgotten how you do it on here now. But there we go. So you can lower the opacity of your work, like, and then create another
wow.
layer, and then use the same brush, making sure you got the smoothness up, like to a certain point. I like fixing like
That's
that.
really great.
Yeah. So, but I think they've printed it, right? Is this part of the thing they've printed?
Yeah. So we have a task for you guys out there. So who is the fastest in the chat answering a question about Will?
What was
So,
that?
so let's. Whoever will be the fastest one answering this question is going to get the book with Will's name on it. So, what did Will use today to draw his name?
Yeah,
What's the name of the program? Tell me, guys.
Yeah. They'll be interested
And then-
to see if they get it.
We're going to ship that to you.
It's got the lines
Isn't
on
that
it and everything. It's
beautiful?
very rough. It's got the guidelines. That's
I want to
pretty
have
cool.
that.
This is so cool.
Honestly,
Yeah,
I
there's
might
the
have to
line.
like sit down after and make another one, just like and keep going and keep
But
going.
isn't that a style, because it's a sketchbook.
Yeah, it's sketch,
And then you
like-
have it doesn't matter that you have the lines there because it's a style.
But yeah, you guys will
It's so
get that.
cool.
It was printed at that. What was it? Over there?
Yeah.
Is it printed?
I think
Yeah.
so.
Look,
So
people
they-
are
at off, they've got
answering.
these cool
Looks
things.
like Steven is the first one saying Gemini. That's correct. Was Project Gemini.
Project Gemini, which is the new app.
Definitely worth checking out. So we're going to ship that to Steven. Congratulations on
Yeah.
that.
You get
And-
that. His very own word from
It's so beautiful.
me.
I want to get
Yeah, it's just like, well,
I
I
won't
am
get
I
it,
could-
Steven. Sorry.
I'd like to do more.
Went
If I
missing
could
in
do
the
more.
post. No, we ship it to you, promise. Yeah, that's already the end of our stream pretty much. Thank you very much, Sarah and Will, for being here. And thank you very much, Will, for creating this wonderful piece of art and
No,
for
thank you.
showing us Project Gemini. And thank you, Sarah, for showing us your illustrations
Thank you for
and
having us.
telling us about your process. And also thank you for reviewing Sandra's portfolio.
It's amazing.
That was really
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
Really nice having you here. Coming up next is Rufus and Rick. So you guys stay in and talk to you soon. Bye,
See
guys.
you soon. Bye.